Hello, football fanatics, and welcome to the Real Talk FC. Today, we're going to look into we're going to preview Week 3 fixtures of the English Premier League. And if you would like to watch our other videos, we did a review of the Week 2 fixtures. The links will be in the description. And if you would like to get involved and come on the show and talk about your team or anything related to football, the email and our Twitter handles will be in the description. So give us a shout. Everyone is welcome. I said this in all the videos. So yeah, join us. Um, this weekend, quite a few good games to look forward to. In particular, Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Brighton, Man United.
Yeah, welcome, Triv.
Thank you. Great to be
Yes,
here.
I know you must be excited for that game.
Yeah, I'm absolutely tough. Coming off the back of
mid-table
back of such a. I'm sorry. What? Isn't that where your team finished last season?
This is a new season, bro. We talk about
okay.
now. Yes,
you guys are top of the league this season, right?
No, we're third.
Oh, you're third. Okay.
Goal difference. Okay. But not that
I'll tell you what, might actually be where Arsenal finished this season. The way things are going.
I really hope
not
so.
Not a bad shot.
I really, really hope so. But
then again, you could also finish. Then again, Arsenal could also finish 8th. The Gunners have been capable of the absolute spectacular and the absolute opposite of spectacular for a couple of years now.
I would highly agree with that. I would disagree with that because that is the truth. Well, same like Man United. So before we get on to the big game,
United haven't really been capable of anything spectacular for a while. But anyway, go on.
You finished third. I mean, that's not the worst.
True.
Position to finish in the league season where Man City and Liverpool have been dominating. But anyway, let's get on with the show, and I'll let you start because I know you don't want to talk much about the United Brighton game. But
yeah, I'm so the thing that I'm most excited about for the Brighton United fixture this weekend is that it's the first fixture of the weekend. So once it's done and out of the way, that I can actually enjoy the rest of the matches that goes on. Some real talk for you. I think my thoughts on this match and for United going forward, unless the squad is bolstered, I'm going to say that the result of this game is dependent on Brighton, not on Man United. Crystal Palace were fantastic against us last week. They scored a goal on the counter-attack, and that allowed them to sit back. And as I mentioned in our previous video, once a team sits deep against Man United, it's basically game over because we don't have the technical skills to get in behind a low block or a deep lying defensive line. So I think if Brighton are stupid enough to come at us, I think the pace of Martial Rashford will be Mason Greenwood is enough for us to get in behind them. But that is dependent on Brighton having not watched the Palace game. If they have no idea that Man United played a game last week, then hopefully they come at us and they give us a chance in the match. I think in terms of who I expect or if I expect any changes to the starting lineup, I think Basaka will return at right back.
Why wasn't he playing in the first game?
I think that it's just a case of match fitness. Solskjaer did mention that we've had a single preseason game compared to Palace's 4. So our players are nowhere near where they need to be at the stage of the season. I know we played Europa League, but that's nobody's fault but our own. We needed to have been better prepared than that. It's okay to have some players that needed a rest, but then what we could have done is we could have got in our younger players in earlier to make sure at least 60% of our squad were match fit come day one. We could have left Fernandes, we could have left Pogba, we could have left Martial and Rashford to have a bit of a rest because they had a long season, a difficult end to the season. But there's no reason why a player like Jesse Lingard, not that he's a young player, there's no reason why
He has
Dan
a lot
James,
of
Jesse Lingard,
potential.
yeah, he's got a lot of potential, that old Jesse Lingard. But yeah, Dan James, Jesse Lingard, Scott McTominay, there's no reason why they couldn't return early for our preseason. But that's in the past. There's nothing we can do to change that now. So yeah, hopefully we get Basaka back at right back. I'd like to see Mason Greenwood start this week instead of Dan James. I do think that playing Marshall and playing Greenwood and Rashford out wide is not the answer, because we do need width from one side, and neither Rashford nor Greenwood are particularly comfortable going around the outside of their fullbacks. They're very comfortable cutting inside and shooting and creating problems, and both of them create a lot of problems for fullback when they do that. But that starves Anthony Martial of any sort of crosses coming in from the wing. So again, we don't have that player that who can do that. So it will be, I think, Greenwood and Rashford, and Nemanja Matic hopefully will return to the base of that midfield. We've got a ridiculous. There is a ridiculous comparison between our win percentage and Nemanja Matic being present. I wasn't his biggest fan. I thought he went through a massive slump last season, but the good run that Man United had did coincide with Matic's return to the starting 11. So credit where credit's due. I think he's quite an important player for us. So yeah, in terms of changes, I'd like to see Basaka and Matic and Greenwood restored to the starting lineup. Also like to see Eric Bailly get a run in the first team. That being said, he'll be injured within 65 minutes. So
I was
is it
just going to
really
ask, is he
worth it?
fit? Yeah.
He's fit. Apparently, he's fit. He's raring to go. But he's a better defender than Victor Lindelof. But as a manager, I understand why Solskjaer doesn't lean on him, because you build your team around somebody who's that injury prone. What's the point? At least with Lindelof, case of rather the devil you know than the devil you don't. So yeah. Lastly, you're going to ask me for a score prediction, and I
Oh,
don't
before
know.
that, you're still happy with De Gea and goal?
Yeah, I thought he made some good saves against Crystal Palace. He's not at fault for any of the goals that have gone in. He's made a penalty save with his foot off the line, and then been absolutely beaten by Wilfried Zaha at the second time of asking. So yeah, I think David De Gea retains his place, and I do think that I think it's fair to David De Gea having given us what he's given us over the past 6 or 7 years. If he makes a Kepa level mistake, I think goodbye. So yeah, and then lastly, my prediction: I'm going to go 1-1 Brighton Man United.
Okay, for a draw, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And over to you. What do you think the Gunners are going to be like this weekend in their fixture?
Comfortable 4-0 winners over Liverpool. I mean, we couldn't get an
I completely
easier
agree with
game,
that.
right?
Yeah.
At Anfield. I mean, our record at
Yeah.
Anfield is amazing. When was the last time we lost at Anfield? I can't remember. I think when I was 5 or something. So like,
It's not like and it's not like the champions of England have added Thiago or Jota
nah, should be a stroll in
to
the
their
park. I
squads
think we
either.
should play
Yeah.
our reserves. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough test, and Anfield has not been a good place for us in the last
Not a happy
6
hunting ground.
seasons. No, not it's been a happy ground for Liverpool, but not for us at all. But I think I mentioned this in the last week's show that With Arteta, there's more structure, more organization. So we have seen Arsenal beat the best sides in England. They beat City. I know the Community Shield was a 1-1 draw and we won on penalties, but we didn't concede five, and that was great. Or even we only conceded the one goal. And when they played us at the Emirates, I know they were on the beach, as you want to call it, by then, because they had already won the league. We did still beat them 2-1. So I am expecting a better performance, not so much, and a better result, meaning that I am not. I don't expect us to get absolutely hammered, but I think a very, very important, a crucial part when we're looking at Arsenal is if Tierney is injured, is fit or not for the game, because I think in this system we play with a three four
Balance.
three, he is such an important player because he's so good defensively and offensively. So he does two jobs really, really well. If like you can see in my team lineup, I've put Kolasinac or Tierney because I'm not sure what his fitness will be like by Monday. If Kolasinac plays, then Salah is going to have a field day, and I urge everyone to triple captain Salah because he will absolutely demolish Kolasinac. Kolasinac, I don't know what's happened to him. When he came on, he looked like a really good. He was in the German uh, team player, German team of the season, and I know it's a different league, but even in the beginning there were positive signs, but lately in the last season and beginning, and this game that he played against West Ham, he just looks off the pace. It doesn't feel. It seemed like he's a Premier League player, or he's not he's not a player that will do well in the Premier League. So
I was going to say that when you were speaking about it, it's the Premier League, isn't it? There's a lot of players, especially from Germany. Like if you look at the last couple of years, Henrik Mkhitaryan, Shinji Kagawa, Per Mertesacker, they're all brilliant players in their own right, and they've come to the Premier League, and they've not Andre Schürrle at Chelsea, they've not really set the Premier League alight, have they?
no, that's a
Um,
very good point.
so
So yeah, he's
yeah,
one
I
of
think
them.
it's difficult for players to adapt.
Also, I think in this game, I know the last game Saka was started against Aston Villa, but again, sorry, West Ham, but we were at home, and this is Liverpool, so I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles should definitely come in. He did a job on Salah when we played in the Community Shield, so I expect him to be much better, and especially defensively compared to Saka. So for me, he comes in. Ceballos and Xhaka in the midfield, we don't have many options. I wouldn't mind if Elneny started because he is a little bit more defensive minded. But then if we do need to create something, and then that's why I would choose Ceballos over Elneny at the moment. The rest of the team, as you can see, I put Luis on the right of the back three, but that's all dependent on who's fit and who's not. I know Luis plays to the center, but Gabriel has been so good, and I would like to play Gabriel and Luis. It's very difficult to fit both of them in with the current system we're playing. So this was a very tough lineup to predict, and I'm pretty sure I'll be a bit off when the actual lineups are released on Monday. Uh, like I said, I am expecting also to have a better performance. I don't expect us to beat Liverpool. I mean, they haven't lost at Anfield in like 10 years or something. I don't know when the last time they lost at Anfield was, but if we can get a draw, that would be a great result. Because the difference in quality between the two teams is quite big, and Arteta himself knows this, so he will definitely go very defensive, which we should, and hope to sneak in a draw at least, at most, I guess. But realistically, I think Liverpool will still have too much for us. So they should beat us by a goal, hopefully not more than that. So I'm going for a 2-1 Liverpool win. I hate predicting against my team, but I'm also a realistic fan. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a loss, but a narrow loss. What do you think, John?
Um, I think it'll be a good challenge for your new centre back. It is one of those situations. I've said this time and time and time again. I don't particularly believe in this. He's got potential story. I think they're either good or they're not good. And I think coming up against Firmino, Salah, and Mane is going to be a good indication to Arsenal fans whether or not Gabriel is or does have what it takes to play Premier League football. In terms of prediction, I also go for a Liverpool win. I think Arsenal have Aubameyang, and that always gives them a goal or a sniff of a goal. So I'm going to go 3-1, not 2-1.
That
But
was
yeah,
the score last year. Yeah.
I don't think Liverpool will. I don't think it'll be an easy match for them. I do think Arteta is tactically adept manager, and I do think that's why Pep Guardiola is struggling a little bit tactically without him in the bigger fixtures. So yeah, I think 3-1, but it's not going to be a rout, is it? Well,
Yeah, I
we
hope
don't
not,
think.
man. I hope not. So, moving on, there's another very exciting game over the weekend. It's Man City versus Leicester. Um, I'm expecting lots of goals in there. Yeah, both Leicester started with 2 wins, scored 7 goals. Yeah, 7 goals in the 2 games. City scored 3 in the one. So yeah, it's at the Etihad. So I think it'll be a close game, but City would probably edge it. Um, because I do rave about him almost on every show. They have Kevin De Bruyne, so he's capable of producing some magical
He's
moments.
definitely he's worth raving about, isn't he? Um, I think Kevin De Bruyne is hands down the best midfielder in the Premier League at the moment. And I think there's an argument to be made for Kevin De Bruyne being the best player in the Premier League right now. Don't. There's a lot of talented players in the Premier League, and on their day, any one of them could be considered the best. But I just think in the last 2 years, when Kevin De Bruyne is at his best, I don't think a single player comes close to him. So, yeah, you do talk about him every week, but I think that's quite justifiable. I think he's
Yeah, you
fantastic.
think City will be able to beat
I think
Leicester?
City will be too much. I think City will be too much for Leicester. I think that the Leicester defense is still adapting. I think they've got Justin playing at left
He
back.
looks
He
he looks a
is
good
still.
prospect actually. He
He
looks
looks a
quite
good.
good. They're very and the left
100%.
back I can't remember the name.
Cat Casa
Yeah, it's not an easy name, but yeah,
Gane. Got
yeah,
butchered that. I
yeah.
apologize. If
Yeah.
if you are watching this video, my friend, for whatever reason you'd be watching two guys talking about football on their YouTube channel, I am sorry.
If you are watching us, give
Yeah.
us a shout and come on the channel. That would be great.
Yeah. I agree with you. They have looked good. They haven't played against Sterling, Mahrez, and De Bruyne and Jesus
Foden,
and Phil Foden
yeah,
as
a
yet,
lot of
haven't they? Yeah, so like Justin has looked good, but
yeah.
with
That's
all
a
due
different
respects
kettle of
to
fish. Yeah,
yeah, so that'll tell you whether or not they're able to cut it, and I think they're going to struggle a little bit. It's not to say those two that the two Leicester fullbacks don't have the ability to be good players in the league, but I think the first time you come up against that Man City team, and when they pull defenders and drag defenders out of position, I think that's going to be a difficult challenge for Leicester City. That being said, I think Jamie Vardy's still having his party. So even
yeah.
though
It's
he
still
let me
going
down
in for the
last week,
fantasy team.
yeah, and
Yeah,
even though he let me down last week and just watched his team score 4 goals, yeah, I think City will have too much for them. What do you think about the Spurs Newcastle fixture?
Um, is Bale fit to play this game, or is
I
he?
believe Gareth Bale is only going to be fit halfway through October. He has joined
Okay,
Indian. Uh,
that's great. So they spent 20
yeah.
million. I know it's Gareth Bale, but 20 million on a half fit Gareth Bale who loves
Uh,
golf.
wait, 20 million on loan fees, right?
Yep, loan.
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay.
a total package. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like with his wages and everything, I think it's around 20 million. Okay,
Yeah, but
well,
I don't think Bale is fit for this game week.
okay, well, regardless, I do think Spurs will have enough to get over Newcastle. I think although Newcastle did beat them at home last season, but against Brighton, Newcastle looked like we said in our previous show. They're a very topsy turvy team, so we don't know what Newcastle might show up. But I think because Spurs are at home and they have Kane and Son. I'm not the biggest fan of Kane, but you know this already. But he is a very, very good player, um, and I think they have enough firepower between the two of them to get Spurs over the line. Yeah, to get Spurs over the line. So I think Spurs will beat Newcastle. I'm going for a 2-0 win. How
I think
about you?
Spurs are going to drop Newcastle. I think they're going to absolutely drop Newcastle. I fear
I hope you're wrong,
for
man.
Newcastle against Spurs. I'm going to play my wild card this week, and I think I am going to go for a little bit of the Korean Ronaldo. So yeah, I'm going to go for 4-0 Spurs.
Wow. Okay. Well, the
Yeah.
last time I went for a 4-0 didn't turn out that well. So hopefully yours is the same this week. Moving on, Chelsea play West Brom away. So I am expecting some reaction from the defeat against Liverpool. Also, West Ham look horrible so far in the two games they've played. West Brom, sorry. Um, so I do think Chelsea will bounce back, but I think because West Brom are at home, they will give them a tough game. It won't be an easy ride in the park for Chelsea. Most of the time, it never is in the Premier League. So I'll quickly predict 3-1 to Chelsea. What do you
Yeah,
say?
I last week I had a look at the West Brom starting lineup before they played Everton, I believe.
Yep.
And I saw the starting lineup and I thought to myself, goodness gracious me, West Brom are going down, definitely going back down. I just don't see any quality in that team. And then I was at the gym and I checked the score, and West Brom scored first. And I thought, you know nothing about this league. And then Everton did go on to drop them. So yeah, I just can't see West Brom getting anything against Chelsea. That being said, if Frank Lampard starts Kepa again, then there's
Oh
always a
yeah.
chance for West
Anything
Brom
is
to grab a
possible.
couple of goals. Yeah, Kepa is a very generous person, shall we say? So, yeah,
T-Rex.
barring Kepa putting on his Santa Claus hat and handing out some presents, I don't think West Brom have anything to get past Chelsea. So, 2-0 Chelsea.
Yep, I agree. The other games on the weekend, Crystal Palace, Everton, that would be a good game. I'm not going to predict that, but yeah, it'll be a good watch. Burnley,
Leeds,
Southampton. Oh yeah, Leeds
but
playing.
Leeds, Sheffield, what are we
Sheffield
going?
United.
13, 12?
I wouldn't
15,
put it past
18?
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Any double figure number it should work because yeah. So that will be
Let's be
again a
honest.
fun game to watch.
If anyone's going to score double digits this season, it's probably going to go Leeds. And
Yep.
the way they defend, they'll probably also lose the match somehow.
Yep.
So yeah, I think definitely. I have no idea what that scoreline is going to be, but I think they'll definitely get some goals in that Leeds game. Sorry, you mentioned Burnley, Southampton.
Yeah.
Southampton, we
I
mentioned
don't.
last week. They're in a little bit of trouble, right? First two games of the season, they've not looked particularly good. They've got the players to get them out of the situation, but I think what you highlighted last week was their inability to adapt tactically to difficult situations. I think
Yeah.
they've got to show a little bit more if they want to finish top half of the table.
Yep. No, definitely. And Burnley are no easy side, especially at home.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that will be another tough test for Southampton. West Ham, Wolves and West Ham both lost in the last round of fixtures, so they'll both want to bounce back. That's a very difficult game to call. I'm not sure how that might go. Most people would go with Wolves, but West Ham are at home and they did look much better against us last weekend. So
they've got
I
they've,
mean,
they've got the chosen one. Like
yeah,
so, with the chosen one there, can Wolves really stop them? No, you're correct. I think it's a difficult one, and I'm going to tend to agree with you on this one. I think I'm going to go West Ham.
yeah. I
I think
can
they're
sense a draw here for some weird reason. I don't know,
okay.
but my predictions haven't been quite good. So yeah, don't listen to me. But we'll give our predictions anyways. Um, and the last game is Fulham Aston Villa. Uh, yeah, that is. I don't know what to say about that game.
I think the
Arsenal.
important thing for that game that I would say is that I think both of those teams need to recognize very early on that those are the type of games that they both need to win if
No,
they want to stay in
definitely.
this
And
Premier League.
Aston Villa started well. They beat Sheffield 1-0.
Yeah,
Fulham two losses, haven't picked up any points.
yeah,
So and they're playing at home, so it's definitely more vital for Fulham to at least get a point. Uh,
yeah. If
you know,
if
I
Fulham if Fulham
think
aren't
they
able
this
to,
is this is their best opportunity so far to pick up points.
yeah,
I mean they had one
exactly.
against Leeds and they squandered that, so they have to pick
Yeah,
this
if
one
they
up.
you've got to beat the teams in and around you if you want to survive in the
Definitely.
Premier League. And I think Fulham are going to be staring down the end of a barrel if they aren't able to put away Aston Villa.
Yep, definitely. So those are the week three's fixtures. Of course, Liverpool also being the biggest game of the weekend, which is on a Monday night. So something,
That's if you live in an alternate universe and don't understand that Brighton Man United is the biggest game of this weekend. But yeah, sure,
yeah,
if you want to be delusional.
yeah, we are deluded as fans. So yeah, but there's other exciting fixtures to watch. Yeah. So thanks, Trev,
Before we
again.
let the people go, before we
Sure,
let the people go, pick one player who's going to be the standout man in fantasy this week.
Kevin De Bruyne. Watch him get a
Kevin De
red
Bruyne.
card and give away a penalty.
I'm going to go Harry Kane. So
Okay.
if you're watching this video, please don't put either Harry Kane or
I
Kevin
have
De
Harry
Bruyne
Kane
in your team.
already, and I'm going to put Kevin De Bruyne on my side. So,
Well, you're gonna have a terrible game week.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But, anyways, thank you everyone for watching. For those of you who did take the time to watch this, I really appreciate it. And we will be back next week with more reviews, more previews, and a bit of banter. So, take care, have a great weekend, and enjoy the Premier League.